of all old imagery. It is the Sunday Radio Show. Get a hold of us online at JiggyJaguar.com. Lots of things happening today. I think we're being invaded here. I don't know. We might not be invaded. That was just Jeffrey. We're not being invaded. No one's coming to assassinate me. Come on. They might be bringing me legal paperwork, but they're not assassinating me. I believe we have our next guest. And then we are going to get into legal paperwork with Jeffrey. Okay. So, I think we've got our next guest. Can you guys hear us on the telephone?
Barely.
Barely. I will turn it up. As the great Dave Chappelle says, turn my headphones up. Okay. So, how are you guys?
Really great, man. Thank you.
I'm assuming this is Wayland.
This is Wayland. This
Look
is
at that.
Phil from Wayland, yeah.
Fantastic. I discovered, you know what's funny about Wayland is I discovered them by doing some reconnaissance on a job that I was interested in taking in Reno, Nevada. I seen that you guys were doing, and you had done an acoustic at a radio station in Reno. I believe it was either KDOT or KOZZ. That's how I discovered you guys.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then, I don't know, probably, maybe 2 weeks later, my buddy Barry gets a hold of me, and he goes, I got this band. You know how Barry is. They're the greatest band ever. And I need to get them on the show. And I said, who are they?
That's hilarious.
And they go, Wayland. And I go, I know those guys. I've just seen a video on the internet about these guys.
That is so funny.
So
Meant to be, I guess, huh?
Meant to be. I never got the job, but we're talking to you guys, so it was meant to be. So, we have the band Wayland with us today. They join us live, coast to coast and border to border. They are busier than a fruit merchant on a fabulous Sunday. And they are with us talking a little bit about themselves and music and all sorts of stuff. So, how did the band Wayland get started? How did you guys become such a tremendous force in the music world?
Yeah, well, it started, Mitch is my best friend, and he's the lead singer. And him and I we're both from the Midwest. I'm from Michigan, he's from Indiana. But we met out in Los Angeles. And we had ended up in this performance group, touring all over the world, teaching music to kids when we were 18 years old.
That's pretty cool.
And whatever town we were in, him and I would, if we were in Dublin, Ireland, let's say, we'd sneak out to a pub and write songs together. And we did that all over the world. So we had our first batch of songs. We came back to the States and we really didn't know where to start. So we started playing on the streets, like in Huntington Beach, California. Kind of like busking,
Yes.
And just going from corner to corner, we'd get crowds around us. And the crowds on the streets built up so big that finally one of the bar owners asked us to come inside and play. That was our first gig. And the band, we formed a band in Los Angeles. And then we ended up signing a deal with Kiefer Sutherland, the actor.
Wow, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, he had a record label called Ironworks. And him and this guy, Jude Cole, who manages the band Lifehouse, and he's an amazing talented guy, kind of took... we were playing the Whiskey a Go-Go, and we were, working telemarketing jobs and just living 7 guys in a 1-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles forever. And we just wanted to be a band on the road so bad. And those guys, along with this guy named Michael Gurley, really took a hold of us and taught us about songwriting. And we made a record, and they were we were all kind of hey, we don't belong in Los Angeles. This is not our band. We're these guys from the Midwest.
Yeah.
And we really want to go back to the Midwest. We don't have enough eyeliner to be out here, And,
that is awesome. We don't. I have often told people I don't have enough eyeliner to do radio or TV. So
Yeah, I get it, man.
I get it,
slippery
man.
slope when you start wearing that stuff.
Well,
we got back. We went back to Michigan, and the band just blew up in the Midwest, and we didn't stop touring. We did 300 days a year for 7 years straight, and
holy
we
smokes.
just Jesse Dupree from the band Jackal. I don't know if you know him.
Yes, I've heard of him. I've never
he helped us out as a friend, and just really showed us the ropes to rock radio. Next thing you know, the band has 5 songs in the top 40 on the rock charts, and we're touring nonstop. And
that's awesome.
We built an amazing fan base, and we just feel so lucky that we have, and it's been great. Now we're just, it's always like trying to figure out, as a band, you're always trying to figure out who you are and what you're doing and where you fit. And now we find ourselves in Nashville, Tennessee, writing songs with all of our friends, and it's been great this year.
We have got the band Wayland with us today. They have a brand new single. It's called Lake House, and they are amazing. They Welcome to My Head, which was one of their hits, hit number 32 on the active rock charts, followed by the track that I heard them perform at at the Lotus Communications place, Reno, which reached number 54. And each time they hit a brand new hit and a brand new major milestone, SiriusXM, iHeart, Cumulus, all these folks pick them up. And I think I've insulted all 3 of those radio companies today on this Sunday radio show at one point or another. Well, apparently SiriusXM, you're not allowed to say the term podcast anymore. Apparently it is archived audio. You cannot say podcast because podcast is an outdated term, according to SiriusXM. I don't know if this comes from the top down, if maybe Ho-Ho Howard went, Robin, we don't say podcast anymore. I don't know. But SiriusXM, you can't say podcast. iHeartRadio, I've often referred to this company as iHeart Debt, even though we are on iHeartRadio. And Cumulus, they want everybody to go out and get the COVID vaccine. And then Dan Bongino, I think, was working at Cumulus at one point, and he took a stand for everyone who was have this mandated thing. So he quit his show until they told him he had a contract. Then amazingly, he came back. Wayland is with us today. WaylandTheBand.com is their official website. If you want to go over there and check them out, they are also on the Facebook. They're on Instagram, Twitter, and at some stage of the game, I think me and Barry for the last year and a half have been trying to get Wayland down here to Kansas to play this place called the Red Shed. And every single time that I try to get you guys in there, there's always some reason why we can't make it work. And so at some stage of the game, I know that Barry has mentioned something to you guys about possibly just coming through at some point and doing like a radio stop, like you guys would come in, doing a couple acoustic songs and hang out in the studio and all this stuff. If we can make that happen, I think we're going to do it at the actual Red Shed. So I can get you guys,
love to do that.
A gig there. Well, see, what happened, this is like rinse and repeat for me. We had a guy by the name of Ken Valdez. I don't know if you guys know Ken or anything, but Ken is a blues.
I don't think so.
Ken is a blues artist. And Barry and I, for the longest time, have been trying to get Ken in the Red Shed. And the guy that is the grand poobah over there, he's like, he's checked. What had happened is that, and you guys are not this way, which I think is fantastic, but one of the things about Ken, I love Ken Valdez. He's awesome. But this is where I shit on him. But the guy live is completely different sounding than the guy on YouTube.
Oh.
And so what had happened is that Jeff had seen the YouTube stuff. And he's like, I'm not interested. So what we did is me and Barry set up this thing where we had Ken come down here and do a radio, basically it's called a radio tour, where we basically would have him come to the studio, he would play a couple songs, and he would hang out. We'd promote his music, do all that stuff. So what I did is I said, we're not going to have it in studio. I'm not having him come here. We're going to send him to the Red Shed, and I'm just going to arrange a special acoustic thing, and we'll just do it at the Red Shed. Okay, at the end of this whole thing, Jeff loved him and booked him for a show the very next night. And then 6 months later, he's going to have him come back and do a full show. And so my attitude is, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you guys down here at some point and have you guys play. Jeff will love you guys, and then all of a sudden you'll be on a show. It's rinse and repeat, baby.
Sounds like quite the audition process.
That's how we're going to do it. So at some stage of the game, in fact, and I'm not going to, I swear to Christ, I'm not going to do this on the air, even though if you're watching us on video, it looks like I am doing this on the air. What we need to do is sometime in, I don't know, depending on what your guys' schedule is like, maybe sometime in October, maybe, we'll have you guys.
Yeah, we might be in that area in October. I think we might be in like Nebraska.
Nebraska, of course. Well, look at your calendar and see if maybe we could get you guys to come through and do a acoustic radio thing like around, I don't know, October 7th. It's a Friday. So look at your calendar and let me know off air. You can let Barry know, and we'll get this whole thing put together. But
we definitely want to come through, man. We've been dying to come out there and see you. We've been hearing about you forever as well.
And God! I'm sure it's probably the same thing that my photographer Bob Hunter was told the other night. He was like, he told me, he goes, I was at breakfast the other day, and some guy goes, "Are you still hanging around that weird guy?" And he goes, "Yeah, I still am." And he goes, I knew they were talking about you. So yeah, I'm sure you've heard all sorts of things. And like I tell my friends in the radio industry, whatever you heard, it's all true. Whether it's true or not, I don't care. But so guys, where is the best spot for people to find you guys as far as if they want to buy your music, play your music, all this stuff?
Well, I mean, finding the music, Spotify and Apple Music are definitely the spots to hear the music.
Okay.
But another place that people are listening to a lot of music and especially discovering new music, and we're putting out all kinds of new sound bites and stuff all the time of our new material, is TikTok.
Of course you guys are on TikTok. We've been
having a great time with it.
I fairly recently got thrown off TikTok because I found out that TikTok you could post 3-minute up to 3-minute videos. And so I went ahead and started posting our interviews that we do with porn stars every year in Chicago at Exotica. And apparently that is a no-no for TikTok.
They don't like that?
Apparently they don't want me interviewing porn stars. But yet, if I wanted to go punch someone's dog or something and create a social media trend, that's fine. But don't interview those porn stars that are fully clothed. Don't ask them their favorite ice cream. By God, you're gone, Jiggy. So, so what has been the reception to your latest single?
We've had a really great reception. People seem to love it. And we were excited about it because, we've been writing a lot of songs lately. And we record them just as fast as we write them. And it's like, well, it was August. We wanted to put out maybe end of the summer song. And it's been we love being in Nashville because we're so close to the Midwest, like to Michigan, or where Mitch is from in Indiana.
Yes.
So we've been able to spend some time up there. And, when I go hang out with my friends in Michigan, we go to their lake house. Like, that's part of the culture there. And so
that's awesome.
We've been singing a lot about, it's funny because we're in Nashville and everyone's, singing country music about being down south with cold beer. But we sing about being up north because that's where we're from.
Being up north.
So it's
that's
kind
right.
So yeah, it's kind of an ode to summer in the Midwest.
That's awesome. Wayland has been our guest today. They are fantastic. They have a brand new single. It's called Lake House. And they join us here on our big broadcast. And you can get more information on Wayland. You can find them on the web at waylandtheband.com. Or the Facebook at Wayland Official. Instagram, they are all over the Insta, as the kids would say, Wayland the Band. And then, of course, on the Twitter machine, Wayland the Band. And you guys are great. We are going to play Lake House. I just appreciate you guys making as much time as you have to chat with me and let me sell you on some ideas and all these various things. But look at your calendars and see if we can make that October thing work, because I think that would be fantastic if we could get you guys down here.
Okay. So, cool, man. Well, we appreciate the invite. We'll get out there.
Definitely. Let me know. Talk to Barry, and we'll get something rolling. I appreciate it, guys.
You think you could find a lake house that we could do it at?
I probably could. I could probably find a lake house. I could probably, we used to do this thing that we used to have this YouTube channel which was called Live from Someone Else's Front Porch, where I would take bands and have them go play on various people's porches. Not my front porch, but someone else's porch. And I would interview them and record them. So we might be able to do that while you're here too, which would be fantastic. But
love it. Let's do it all.
You guys are great. Thanks for making as much time as you have, and I will talk to you soon. Have yourself a wonderful day.
All right, thanks, man.
Appreciate it, guys. There they go. That is Wayland, and we are going to go to Lake House, which is their brand new single. And when we come back, the Man About Town, Jeffrey Michelle, in the flesh, in the building.
I've been working nonstop, feeling like I might drop, thinking about that sweet spot getaway. My imagination's already on vacation, don't need no reservation to stay. Loading up the truck with the town and the dust, gonna pick her up on the drive. Soon we'll be sipping that past blue ribbon, skinny dipping on a Friday night. What happens at the lake house stays at the lake house, and there ain't nobody else has to know. We can hide out, let your wild child hang out, turn it up, throw it down, another round, anything goes. At the lake house, the water's just fine, losing track of time, soaking up sunshine at the lake house. Floating on that pontoon, firing up that grill soon. All our friends will show up at any time. It's gonna be a blowout, man, it's gonna get loud. It won't be hard to leave the world behind. What happens at the lake house stays at the lake house, and there ain't nobody else has to know. We can hide out, let your wild child hang out, turn it up, throw it down, another round, anything goes. At the lake house. Shotgun loving, cool buzz, hot tubbing, that's what I call living the life. So good sipping that past blue ribbon, skinny dipping on a Saturday night. What happens at the lake house stays at the lake house. A shot in the glass, don't even ask, ready to go. What happens at the lake house stays at the lake house, and there ain't nobody else has to know. We can hide out, let your wild child hang out, turn it up, throw it down, another round, anything goes. At the lake house, out on the boat, taking it slow, lake house.
There it is. It's Wayland. They are fantastic. Forget about what you've heard. Forget about ferrets and jello fights. Forget about